Situated in South Australia, adjoining the southern boundary of Woomera Rocket Range, is Wilgina, the largest sheep station in the world. The station covers 3,500 square miles and runs an average of 55,000 sheep. There are 2 homesteads and 10 outstations to house the 40 persons, employees and their families living on the property. Solitary children have puppies and cats for playmates. The puppy will commence his training to work the sheep when 12 months of age. Meanwhile, he amuses himself in typical dog fashion. The housewife obtains meat as required from the meat house, where it is placed after killing and dressing. These isolated homesteads are visited twice a year by an Afghan hawker traveling from Port Augusta, 230 miles distant. Originally transporting his wares by camel, he has been catering for such customers for the past 30 years. This shopping at the door makes a welcome break in the rather monotonous routine of Outback station life. A modern machine shop at the main homestead enables all station equipment to be kept in good running order. Outback stations are equipped with transmitting and receiving radio sets, the power being generated by pedal action. In case of accident or sickness, a call is sent out to the flying doctor base. The doctor, landing his plane on the station airstrip, can, if necessary, transport his patient to hospital in a short space of time. To Australia Outback, the flying doctor is veritably an angel of mercy. A sleeping dog is quickly alert at the sound of a motorcycle and on hearing his master's whistle, runs to take up his position on the cycle at the signal of a raised arm. For the past 20 years, motorcycles have supplanted the horse on many of these vast Australian sheep stations. Their use eliminates camping out, as was necessary with horses when working long distances from the homestead or outstation. The station boundary fence is of 6-foot vermin-proof netting, erected at a cost of £300 per mile. Boundaries are regularly checked for breaks or piled up sand, which let dingoes and other vermin in. Dependable tires are essential in this rough country. Although there are many beaten tracks along the boundaries and between paddocks, tending the sheep and mustering is directly across country, much of which is very stony and extremely rough. The property is divided by wire fences into paddocks of approximately 20 square miles, and sheep are moved as feed is grazed off. These dividing fences are also inspected and any breaks mended to prevent sheep from straying into adjoining paddocks. Sheep are counted as they pass through a gate. A second man in the background, holding a handful of pebbles, drops one into his pocket at each call of tally, meaning 100. At the end of the count, he places these pebbles on a cleared spot on the ground to tally the number of sheep in this flock. In the spring, many miles of this red sandy country present a wonderful scene when the spectacular sturt pea is in bloom. Picturesque blue bush is one of the mainstays of sheep feed. Owing to the poor sandy nature of the soil, only 16 sheep can be supported to each square mile. If a dog is sick or injured and cannot work the sheep, mustering becomes an arduous task for the men. At shearing time, sheep are mustered in a nearby paddock, and the number required for each day's shearing is yarded. This is indeed the golden fleece. The wool clip at Wilgina for the last season realized 222,000 pounds. The two homesteads, situated 40 miles apart, are each equipped with a shearing shed to avoid unnecessary movement of sheep. The shearing board is a scene of great activity. No time is lost as the men are paid by results. A good shearer can shear 200 sheep per day, taking approximately 3 minutes for each sheep. The men work in a team consisting of 10 to 20 shearers with an equal number of shed hands, 2 pressers and a wool classer. These teams move from station to station, starting in the warm northern areas of Australia and working south, so that all sheep are shorn by December before the hottest weather sets in. The fleece is skirted and rolled up to be classed before baling. A bale of wool weighs approximately 300 pounds when pressed. After being shorn, the sheep are branded before being turned out to the paddocks. Meanwhile, the routine work of the station goes on. Each man has his own dog, which works for him only, accompanying him wherever he goes. These mechanized dogs revel in their work. In this vast tract of territory, water is a vital necessity. The only water in this arid land comes from bores, which have been sunk on the station. The water is pumped into large storage tanks by means of windmills, or in calm weather, engines are used. From these storage tanks, pipelines laid down at a cost of £100,000 carry the water to troughs in the various paddocks.